I don't know what made me do it. Um, I came indoors. I put a skirt on, put my wig on because at the time I didn't have my own. I had short hair. I put a wig on, put my makeup on, and up I went to Tiverton to do some shopping in a supermarket. I don't know why I did it. I was scared. I was absolutely shaking like a leaf because it's the first time I've been out in daylight. And I went up there and I bought some plants, shaking like a leaf, scared to death, absolutely scared to death. Um, so I bought some plants. I went back to the car, and then when I got back to the car, I was shaking so much that I couldn't drive. So I thought I got to go back in for a cup of coffee in their little coffee shop. So I went in and sat down at this little table. It was quite funny actually. I sat down at this little table, little round table where the cups were upside down on the saucers, one of these old fashioned sort of tea shops. And I'm holding the side of the table, and with me shaking like a leaf, it was shaking the table, and the table was making one hell of a noise. And it was like a flag saying, "Everyone look at me." And everyone was, because they could hear this thundering great noise coming from the table. But in a couple of minutes, actually, this lady came over and put her hand on top of my hand as I was holding the table. And she said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah." And she looked straight at me and she said, "Is it your first time out?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Calm down." She said, "Just breathe." So and I just sat back. She said, "I'll get you a nice strong coffee." So she got me a coffee. She came back and sat beside me just for a few minutes, put her hand back on my top of my hand again. And she said, "I do understand." She said, "I used to be a psychiatric nurse and I've retired now, but I'm just doing this as a little part-time job." She said, "You're doing okay." She said, "Just calm down." And that made me feel a lot better. It made me feel great. Not great as such, but it calmed me down. So I finished the coffee and she got up and got on with her job. And I went back to the car and I decided then, come on home. But the feeling I had at that time was amazing. It was like this big rock was lifted off my shoulders. Um, and then I decided then to, a few days after that, I was at work and I took a wig with me because I wanted to be more feminine. So I put the wig on and I'm going down the motorway and Nick and his dad drove past, going to a meeting down in Exeter or Newton Abbot, um, and looked up and saw me with my wig on. So I got brought into the office and they were good. They were really good. They sat me down and we talked for about an hour. And they said, "What's going on? Because, you said you weren't going to dress." And that's when I came out with it. And I said to them, I said, "I'm not a cross dresser." I said, "I'm transgender." I said, "I want to be a woman." And the look on Mervin's face, he couldn't understand it. Um, we talked for ages about it and everything that I've gone through, just what we've talked about now. And then towards the end of it, I said, "Well, the thing is," I said, "I'm changing my name by depot, so I won't be Ian no more. I shall be Roxanne Elizabeth." So they had to accept it, which was great because they did. Um, and then that was that. And then I went on for a little while, and then I went and seen my doctor, my GP, Dr. Gibb. And I went in, I made a double appointment to see him. And he was fantastic. And I sat down. Um, there wasn't a look on his face, actually. It was quite laid back. And he said, "Hello." I said, "Hello." And he looked at me, he said, "Right." He said, "Well, I don't feel right calling you Ian no more." I said, "No." I said, I've changed my name by depot. It's still ongoing. I said, "But I'm going to be called Roxanne." okay. He said, do you want to be called Roxanne? I said, yes, please. He said, right then, Roxanne, what can I do for you? And I told him my story, and he referred me to a place in Barnstable, which was um, a psychiatrist with NHS, Dr. Whitaker. So he made me an appointment to see him. So I went down to see Dr. Whitaker, and he was lovely. He's the youngest chap, and he understood. We sat there for about an hour and a bit, about an hour and a quarter, talking about my life. And at the end of it, he said to me, right, he said, he had a look at his notes, and he said, I have no doubt in my mind that you suffer from gender dysphoria. He said, and I am going to recommend you I'll refer you to the Laurels Gender Clinic in Exeter, which was about 10 months gap between that. It seemed to go fast. And then I went to the Laurels. I went with Sandra, my cousin, who went down with me, held my hand. Because she knew my life anyway, because by then we'd become good friends. Because prior to that, I'd been round to my family and told my family that I'm not going to be in no more. But most of them turned their back on me. But that's something that comes with the territory, so they say. About 3 cousins are okay. And my sister. My sister found it hard to take, actually, because I walked into the shop dressed. I think I made a mistake there. I frightened her. But she didn't speak to me for a couple of months. And then she rang me up one day and said that she'd been grieving for her brother, because her brother had died. But she's got over that now, and now she's got a sister. And when she spoke to me, and at the end of the conversation, she said, Roxy, she said, I'm going to have to go now, darling. And that, I burst into tears. I was in the truck at the time, on the phone, in a lay-by, of course. And I just cried my eyes out because my sister had accepted me as Roxanne. The rest of the family hasn't. They've turned against me. But I'm not bothered. I'm not worried. I found other friends, other family. You don't need blood as family. I've got 1 or 2 cousins that are fantastic. And Sandra was one of them. But sadly, she died in 2014. She took her life because she's bipolar. But that's another story. But yeah, so I went and saw Dr. Whitaker, and then I went to the Laurels 10 months after that. And I was put with Nuria, my psychotherapist. I was with her I think I had 3 or 4 sessions with her. And then I got to see Dr. Blewett, who is my psychiatrist, and he put me on HRT, and I had laser treatment to the face. And that went well. And then in 2014, I had my second opinion from Dan Hodgson from Bristol, who came down and talked to me. And after that, that was very nervy, because you're going through your life again, talking about everything. And then it got to the point then where he said to me, I concur with Dr. Blewett that you have gender dysphoria. I'm going to refer you to Brighton for surgery. And then the following year, in 2015, the start of 2015, I had a letter come to say come down to Brighton to meet the team. And I thought, oh my God, this is happening. This is really happening. It was amazing. It was a shock. It was a shock because I thought, this can't be happening to me. Things like this don't happen. You know, I think I'm dreaming. But it wasn't. And I went down and met the team. Mr. Thomas, the surgeon. And then not long after that, I was only about 4 months, I think it was after that. I got a phone call from Brighton, and it was Liz. And she said to me, "Is that Roxanne?" I said, "Yeah." I was in the truck at the time. I was in a lay-by, in a quarry. So I stopped the truck. I had the phone on, and she said, "We've got a cancellation. Would you like it? Would you like to take the place?" Yes. Yes, please. And I just sat there in shock. It was a shock that this is happening. This is really, really happening. You know, this is reality time. This is when I'm having my surgery. And you know, I sat there for ages in the quarry. Guy come over to load me, and he saw I was in a bit of a shock. So he said, "I'll leave you alone, Roxanne." He said, "I'll go over and load the other lorries over the other side." So he left me to it. And I'm just sat there. Do you know, even in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, do I want this? Do I want this surgery? Do I? I knew I did, but I had to question myself. I had to question my own mind. And I had to question my own sanity. But the answer came out exactly the same. Yes, this is your chance to fly. And then I thought, yes, it is. It is. But I didn't just jump at the chance. I thought about it as well. All the thoughts came with it. And I think sometimes you have to do that. You have to question yourself. Because you know in your heart it's right. But you got to be sure, as well as other people, the surgeon, your psychiatrist, your psychotherapist. They've got to be sure. You've got to be sure. It's a big step. It's a very big step to take. And I don't care what anyone says. It's not to be taken lightly. And it's not just woke up one morning and decided to be a woman, like some of the bigots come out with. It's nothing like that. So, yeah. So I went down on the 18th of August 2015. And it was amazing. It was totally amazing. My best friend Adrian took me down in my car, and he drove my car back, and then he came back and picked me up at the end of the week, which was amazing because he's a great guy. But I booked in to a travel lodge in Brighton that on the Monday night, and I didn't really go very far. I went out for a bit of a meal, and then the next morning, funny enough, I was coming back to the hotel to pick up my bags to meet the taxi to take me up to the hospital. My heart's up in my mouth. Oh, I won't tell you otherwise. I was, my heart was thumping because it's surgery, no matter what. And I met this girl on the street, and she was homeless. I saw her the night before, and I gave her a couple of quid. And I said, "That's all I've got," which I had. But she was there the next day when I went to Brighton to get some books to read in bed in hospital. And then on the way back, she was sat there again. So I gave her a little bit of money, and I said to her, "Why are you on the street?" And she told me the story. She was in a flat with her mum, and because her name wasn't on the rent book, when her mum died of cancer, she was thrown out. It was a private flat, and she got turfed out, and she sort of sleeps around. Well, she was. And how fair is that? And there's me going up and having my dream come true. You know, it made me feel so bloody humble, and it brought me back to, back onto the ground again. It really did. There's me having my dream come true, and there's a girl sat there with all the dreams have shattered, gone. I still cry about it now. She was lovely. She got up and gave me a hug, and all she was saying was, "Oh, Roxanne, you enjoy your life, darling," and that made me so bloody humble. But I went up to the hospital. The guy that took me up to the hospital, the taxi driver, he was great. He was lovely, really nice guy. And I went into the hospital, and it was just like greeted by just friends. People there saying, "Oh, hello, Roxanne. Yeah, we'll take you up to your room." Yeah, so they settled me in, and the next day I went for my surgery. I was in there a week. There wasn't a lot of pain, actually. There wasn't much pain at all. I guess because I was so high and happy. But you have to stay in bed for about 3 days on your back, which is a pain. It was a pain. But there's no pain down below whatsoever. It was amazing. I think it's because you're so happy to have it done. And then I came home on the Thursday, on the following Monday. 7 days I was in hospital, but everyone was so fantastic. I mean, the hospital, Nuffield Hospital in Brighton, were amazing people. They're lovely, lovely people, and they treated you like you was the only one on the planet that was having it done. You were special. You were special. You felt special. I mean, the day when they took the bandages off and took all the wires off me and the catheters out, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I went to the loo for the first time as a female, and I just sat on the loo and I just cried my eyes out. I just sat there and cried my eyes out. Sat on the loo because it's the first time I've actually been having a wee as a woman, and that I'll never forget that. And I just sat there and sobbed my eyes out. And the nurse, Julie, she was knocking on the door. She said, "You all right, Roxanne?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right." In between the tears. And anyway, she opened the door, come finish, because you can. She said, "You all right, sweetie?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm a woman." And she looked straight at me. She said, "Yes, you are, sweetheart. You're a woman now." That, when she said that, was just like the icing on the cake. For her just to say that, just those few little words. And do you know what? I haven't stopped smiling since, and that was 2015, and I haven't stopped smiling about it, and I never will, because I've had a second chance. It's like all transgender girls and boys. We get a second chance to live our life. Okay, it might be a bit of a late start, but I did get there. And a lot of it is to do with friends as well. Friends that support you, that give you support. Even strangers in the street that come up to you and say, "Hiya," and sort of talk to you, just normally talk to you. Yeah, a lot of it's out of curiosity. But what the hell? And when they're nice to you, it's great. It's like I say to people, nice people make us strong. Bad people make us stronger. And you can live your life. I've turned my life around now, completely. And it's not in the books. You won't read it in the books. You won't read none of this in a book. The emotions that come out. I write poetry now where I never did. I never ever wrote a poem in my life. before I started transition. There's lots of things I do now, and I push myself further and further, because what is the point in stopping? Saying, oh, I've done it now, that's it. Why? Why stop? Push your boundaries. And that's what I say to a lot of the girls that are just coming out into transition. Push your boundaries, not to the point of danger, but to the point that you feel comfortable. And not just go into clubs that are trans friendly, gay friendly. I don't go to pubs anyway, because I think it's most pubs, it's asking for trouble, because I won't go there. I don't like pubs anyway. But a lot of girls, they cling to the trans and the LGBT sort of places, venues, and they're not branching out far enough, because they could do it, and they can do it. If I can do it, they can do it. But they seem safer, which is fair enough. I mean, I don't knock them for that. They're safer. But are they? I've heard stories where they get groped and pushed around, even in a trans-friendly LGBT type establishment. I rest my case with that. You know, I push my boundaries. Yes, I do. But not to that point. I push them to the boundaries there. I've joined the WI. Why? Because I've got a right to. Because I am a woman. And I don't care what label you put on me, trans. I'm a woman. I am a woman now. And that's why I joined the WI. And they've accepted me. And I love it. I just love it. There's things that I do now that I never thought I would ever do in my life. I do flower arranging, for God's sake. I've never done that before in my life. Yes, it's not exciting as a lot of the girls when they go out. But for me, it's all a part of it. It's a part of just living as a woman. I love my clothes. Yes, I dress very eccentric. People may think. For me, it's not. I dress as I like. I dress for me. I don't dress for other people. I dress for me. And this is my dress. I love my long maxi dresses. Whereas other girls like their short skirts up to their armpits. So what? You know, that's up to them. That's their choice. But what they must never do is, when they wear a very short skirt, is start looking around and think, what's she looking at? What's he looking at? Because it's attracting people to you. This does anyway. Even with my gothic on it attracts people. So you're never going to stop it. But there's just got to be an happy medium in between. People will shoot me down for saying this. But I don't blame anybody for wearing whatever they want to wear. It's they that got to go out and wear it, and they are the ones that are going to get the stares and everything. I get the stares, but I don't care. I don't really care. But I know it's not because I got a short skirt on. It's because, I guess I'm tall. I'm 6'3", so I'm going to get stared at. I stand out. So I think, well, if I stand out, but saying that, I will not camouflage myself to blend in with people. I don't believe in that. I will not conform. And that's why I've had my gender surgery. Because I'm not conformed. I'm not conformed to living as a man as I was born. I was born as a woman, but in a man's body. And that's how I'm going to be. And that's what I've become. People can call me what they like. I don't care. I'm happy. I don't know if they are. Perhaps they're not. But I'm happy now. I'm retired. I do a lot of work. I meet a lot of girls. Not a lot of girls, but I'll meet other trans girls, talk to them, tell them about My story? It's all good stuff. And I love my life, you know? And it's, when you can turn around and say you've had a second chance, that's what counts. And whenever you see a trans girl walking in the street with her head's up high and she's looking lovely, she's dressed beautiful, don't mock her. Praise her. Because she's found the faith inside herself. Because that's what you do. All of us trans girls, we find the faith that's in there. Not faith from up there or in a book. It's what comes from in there. Once you find that faith in yourself, then the courage follows. The courage to do what you've always wanted to do. And be who you want to be. Or who you should have been from the start. So, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you take a lot from my video. I don't talk technical talk. I could quote long names, long words that you read in a book. I won't do that. When I go out to meet other girls and their families around here, I don't use big words. And I say it how it is. It's not rose petals around the cottage door. It's reality. And I tell them about people that they can meet. Good and bad. But they'll never stop me being who I want to be. And they won't stop them. None of us trans girls. Because we walk down the street and we are happy. We hold our heads high. And we're proud to call ourselves transgender. Take care. Goodbye. Bless you all.